Hey guys, welcome back. Today's video I'm going to be filming my review and 3 looks on the BH Cosmetics It's My Ray Ray eyeshadow palette. I believe this is her second palette with BH. I think her first palette had blushes, it had highlights, it had bronzers, I believe. It was a lot bigger than this one, but this one is her second palette and it just only has eyeshadows. So yeah, in today's video we're just going to be talking about this palette, my thoughts on the shades, the formula, everything like that, everything you want to know. So if you guys are interested in hearing about my thoughts on this palette, then just continue watching. So to get started with my review, let's start off with some product info. This is in collaboration with It's My Ray Ray, who is a YouTuber, influencer. I only started watching her like pretty recently, I would say maybe like when she just got pregnant. Obviously she has her baby now, but I've been watching her for just like a little over a year, I would say. But this palette is $17.50 USD. Right now they are having like a promo. I don't know if it's like a forever promo, but you do get a free liquid lipstick with the palette if you do purchase it. This is a liquid lipstick in the shade Rosy Ray. I don't know if this liquid lipstick came out with this palette or did it come out with the first launch. I'm not too sure. I don't keep up with BH as much as I do with Colourpop, so I'm really unsure, but you do get a free liquid lipstick. And let me just give you my quick review on this liquid lipstick because it's a pretty good liquid lipstick, and for me to say that is like major because I do not like matte liquid lipsticks. I barely ever wear matte liquid lipsticks. I just don't like them because they're very drying, very uncomfortable, and they just kind of like squeeze on my lips and make them like dry out. I just don't like liquid lipsticks. I mean, there are a couple formulas that I like, but it's not like my go-to. I much prefer like lip tints, lip balms, lipsticks, lip glosses. But this one, surprisingly, I just found to be so comfortable. It was not drying, and the formula on this is just really great, and the shade of it is really pretty as well. I did wear it for one of the looks, which you guys will see at the end. Like these two products for $17.50 is a really good deal. So I would say if you were thinking about getting this palette or if you wanted to try this liquid lipstick, I think it is a good time to purchase it now. But yeah, I just wanted to like give you my quick little review on the liquid lipstick because it is really good and it makes me want to try more of BH's liquid lipsticks. I honestly prefer this more than the Colourpop Ultra Mattes, just to say the least. So yeah, anyway, back to the palette. This is a 15 pan eyeshadow palette. You get 8 mattes and 7 shimmers in here, as well as a mirror. So you are getting a lot for your money. 15 shades, liquid lipstick, $17.50. Amazing. After playing around this palette, it gave me Urban Decay Born to Run Colourpop times Shayla Perception vibes, where it has your go-to neutral everyday warm tones, but then it has a lot of jewel tones to work with. I would say it's a little bit brighter of a jewel tone than the Born to Run and the Perception. I feel like the Perception and Born to Run are more similar. Like those two palettes are like, I would consider dupes. This one I would say could be like a sister to that. It's like a very jewel tone palette, but it has your neutral shades to wear for every day, if you know what I mean. I also like the fact that although this whole row is shimmer, you have the complementary matte shadow to complement that. And I think this is like such a good idea because you can create so many eye looks because you have these mattes to play with, but also the same thing in a shimmer shadow. And you can make so many monochromatic looks with this palette because you have the matte version and the shimmer version, and you can just mix and match. You can play with different color stories. My first look, honestly, I do not know how confident I feel about it because it's just so different and the color combination was just like out of my comfort zone, but I'm going to add it into this video anyway because, you know, step out of your comfort zone. But yeah, like this palette allowed me to do that, like just playing with the yellows and blues, and you know, it's just colors that you typically wouldn't, I guess, pair with, and this palette has it, but then it's also like not intimidating as well. Like looking at this palette, I'm not like, ooh, whoa, this is too much for me. It's too colorful. I feel like if you're a beginner and wanting to play with some color, I think this is a good palette to do so. So I think all around it is a pretty good palette. I also didn't have any issues with any patchiness or skipping or anything like really bad about the formula. I think BH's formula on eyeshadows is actually pretty good. I think I slipped on BH for a little bit too long. So yeah, just the looks that you can create, the amount of mattes and shimmers, it ticks every box that I want in a palette. I think the only thing for me is that there isn't really like a highlight shade. There's nothing really in here that I would use to highlight my inner corners or my brow bone. But honestly, that is not like a big deal because I can obviously just use my highlighter to highlight. Typically, most palettes would have like a highlighting shade to use that would complement the palette that you're using, but Nonetheless, I think it's a really great palette. For the price point, I am a big fan of it. If you do follow her and you want to support her, I would say definitely get this palette because you will not be disappointed. It is a really great palette to use. But yeah, with that being said, we can now move on to my swatches and my 3 looks. I hope you guys enjoyed the 3 looks because like I said, look 1 was a little bit out of my comfort zone. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoy the 3 looks. To get started with the first look, I'm going to be taking the shade Canary and I'm going to be placing this right at the inner third of my crease area, kind of where the transition shadow usually would be, but we're only going to focus it towards the inner third and kind of like towards the middle. We are going to leave the outer corners just empty with shadow for now. I just want the shadow to be right at the inner part of my crease area, really diffusing this one out. Now I will be taking Cobalt and this is going at the outer third of my eye, kind of like a transition shadow, as well as on the lid as well, just kind of covering the lid space and the crease area with these 2 shadows. I think it looks really unique mixing like a cobalt blue and a bright yellow together since they are on the opposite sides of the color wheel from each other. Now taking the shade Golden Girl, I'm going to be placing this right on top of Canary, just kind of diffusing it out. I did use the shadow wet just to get the most like metallic sheen, but I am just going to diffuse it around the crease area. I'm not like cutting out my crease or anything. And taking the shade Sapphire, I'm doing exactly the same thing, but I'm going to place it on top of the blue instead. And towards the middle of my lid, where like the yellow and the blue meet, I'm just taking like a clean, fluffy blending brush, just sweeping it back and forth to blend the shadows together and kind of like diffuse that line. So you can't really see where they exactly meet, it's just kind of like diffused into each other. I then took my ColourPop BFF liquid liner in the shade Crazy and I used this to give myself a wing liner. Since this eye look is very simple, I thought I would just add a little bit of a twist to it by using like a dark navy blue eyeliner instead of my black. When you see the navy wing contrast against the blue, I think that looks really pretty. Going back into the shade Cobalt, I'm going to sweep this all over my lower lash line, just kind of diffusing the product out. I'm actually just going to switch my brush using the same shade. I'm just using more of a definer brush and I'm really going to press this up against my bottom waterline. By using like a definer brush, it is going to make the shadow appear more darker and more pigmented. To complete the look, I am going to take my ColourPop Creme Gel Liner in the shade Punch and I'm going to use this to tightline my entire bottom waterline. And this, guys, is the first look completed. For my lashes, I am wearing the Petite Cosmetics Luxe Fake Mink Lashes in the style Fresh. For my lip pairing, I decided to go with the ColourPop Just a Tint Lip Crayon in the shade Rise and Shine. But this completes this look. I hope you guys like it. I don't feel like myself in this eye look, but I like this color combination. It was just fun for me to just step out of my comfort zone. So I hope you guys enjoyed this look as well. Moving along to the second look, I'm going to be taking the shade Brick as my transition shadow. I'm just going to put that straight into my crease using windshield wiping motions and then circular motions to blend that up towards my brow bone. I am bringing this quite high up, as you guys can see, because I do want the shadow to peek through underneath all of the other darker shadows that we are going to place on top. I'm also going to bring this onto my lower lash line as well, and I'm also dragging it quite low because I do want to get this kind of grungy, smoky vibe. And when you smoke out your lower lash line and bringing it very low, it does give off that grungy appearance. So to achieve that, I am bringing my lower lash line shadow quite low, like lower than I usually would. Next, I am taking the shade Majesty. I'm going to pack this on to my lid space. I'm going to pack on the shadow there first, and then I'm going to blend it up towards my transition shadow, but making sure we are not overtaking the transition shadow because we do want that gradient to appear. I'm also going to take Majesty on to my lower lash line as well, but this time I'm just going to press this up against my waterline instead of like smoking it out. I just want this to define the lower lash line a little bit more. I am then going to take the shade Flare, and I'm pretty much going to be doing exactly the same thing. Honestly, putting Flare on top of Majesty, there's not going to be too much of a difference depth-wise, just because they are both sort of like a medium to dark tone. But mixing Flare and Majesty, it kind of creates this purple cranberry shade, and I really like how it turned out. Next, I am going into the shade Charmed, and I am using this shadow wet, and just placing it at the center of the lid is going to catch the light very, very well and just really shine through against the dark shadows. I'm also going to take the shade Top Notch, using this also wet. I'm just going to place that right at the center of my lid. Like, I'm not blending this out, I'm just placing that right at the center of my lid space, because it's just going to lighten up Charmed a little bit more and really catch the light a little bit better. To finish off this eye look, I'm going to be taking my ITSMYRAYERAYE Modestar eyeliner in the shade Coffee, and I'm going to use this to tightline my entire bottom waterline. And this is the second look completed. For my lashes, I am wearing the Petite Cosmetics Luxe Fake Mink lashes in the style Fresh once again. For my lip pairing, I am wearing the BH Cosmetics ITSMYRAYERAYE liquid lipstick in the shade Rosy Ray. It is her liquid lipstick with BH Cosmetics, and I just thought it paired very nicely with this eye look. But I hope you guys enjoyed this soft purple halo eye. I really like how the purple and the oranges blend into each other, and how the purple really makes my brown eyes pop out. Now moving on to the final look, I'm going to be taking the shade Brick, and this is going to be my transition shadow. I'm just going to sweep that straight into my crease using windshield wiping motions and then circular motions just to further blend the outer edges. I'm also going to take this shade on to my lower lash line as well, just sweeping it right from the outer corner to the inner corner, making sure at the outer corner we are connecting the shadows at that point. Moving on to the shade Bark, I'm going to use this to kind of deepen up the outer corner a little bit. This is a technique that I always do, where I make the outer corner very dark and smoky and then the inner corner much lighter. I think this technique just really suits my eye shape. It's a very easy technique to do as well. So this is always the second step, is just to deepen out the outer corner. Next, I am going to take Ambitious, and I'm going to be doing exactly the same thing, but I am using a smaller brush, and I'm focusing it in a smaller section first and then slowly blowing it out. Because Ambitious is like a very dark green, you just want to go in with a little bit because it is very pigmented, and with darker shadows you always want to start off with a little rather than starting off with too much, if you know what I mean. It's easier to add on than to take away when it comes to eyeshadows. I'm also going to take that same shade and press this up against my bottom waterline. I'm mainly going to focus this right at the outer third towards the middle. I'm not going to bring it like all the way in towards the inner part of my lower lash line, because I feel like that's just going to kind of like close up our eyes a little. And now I am taking Showgirl. I'm actually using this shadow wet. I'm going to place that right at the inner third of my lid space to contrast against, you know, the darker outer corners that I was talking about earlier. I think Showgirl and Ambitious is just a really pretty combo with a pop of like orange in the crease. I think this just looks so pretty. Although I am wearing brown contacts, I think the greens really makes the brown contacts like pop out even more. I just feel like my eyes look so like googly and just so pretty. So I really like this color combination. But to finish off the look, I'm just gonna take the ColourPop Creme Gel Liner in the shade Fast Lane, and I'm gonna use this to tightline my bottom waterline. Again, just focusing it at the outer third towards the middle, not taking it all the way in. Alright guys, so this is going to complete the final look. For my lashes, I am wearing the House of Lashes Iconic Lights. For my lip pairing, I went with the ColourPop Just a Tint Lip Crayon in the shade Rise and Shine. But I hope you guys enjoyed this final look. I love how it turned out. I've said this so many times, but green is the color to make brown eyes pop, and I just love how my eyes look. So I hope you guys liked it too. So this, guys, is going to complete today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to give the video a thumbs up for me. I'd appreciate it so much if you did. Don't forget to let me know your thoughts on this palette. Have you guys already got it? Because I know this palette is nothing new. It did come out a while ago. So let me know if you guys already have it. What do you guys think of it? And let me know which look was your favorite out of the 3. But yeah, that is it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already. I love you guys, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!